If you want to play Banjo-Kazooie today, you can do so on Xbox.
Welcome everyone, this is AndresRestart, and I just gotta say that for the most part, I thought the most recent Nintendo Direct was actually really good, so I actually find myself a bit confused to see that a lot of other content creators felt pretty meh about the Direct. I thought it was very well rounded, tons of announcements. 2019 has been pretty well filled out. 2020 is already starting to come together. There were a couple things that left me a little disappointed, but overall, I thought the Nintendo Direct was very well paced. Just that Animal Crossing part was a little bit too long. No, we didn't see the next Super Mario Odyssey sequel, but I do believe that's still in development. They just didn't announce it yet. We got a new Xenoblade remake, which is amazing. And then we got 25 more minutes of Smash content after they told us about Terry and that there'll be more DLC characters and that they'll be shadow dropping Banjo. And of course, those 25 minutes was the Banjo presentation. But within that Banjo presentation, we got Sans as a Mii costume with the Megalovania music. He looks just like a normal playable character. I think this is pretty freaking awesome. But there was one thing at first that left me a little bit confused, and that was when Sakurai said to just basically go play Banjo on Xbox. He sort of built us up, told us about the history of Banjo on Nintendo and how it moved over to Xbox, and just said go play it on Xbox. And I guess you could say I am left somewhat disappointed because I wanted to play Banjo-Kazooie on my Switch. It's just great playing games on the Switch. Like, for example, I have access to a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games, but now that they've been announced for Nintendo Online members, it's way more convenient and I'm pretty happy about it. And at no extra cost, by the way. So I would love to play Banjo-Kazooie on my Switch. I feel like that would be the best way to play it. Not to mention, I don't actually have an Xbox. I don't want to have to buy an Xbox just to play Banjo and Kazooie. So then, should I just accept that I will have to play this on Xbox in order to enjoy Banjo-Kazooie on a modern system? I'm actually not so sure about that, even though Sakurai just told us to go play Banjo on an Xbox. And there's a few reasons why. For starters, we did at one point see a listing for Banjo-Kazooie on the Nintendo Switch. Secondly, if you look at all the other DLC characters that have come to Smash Bros., there's been some sort of game from that series on the Nintendo Switch. With Joker, there's Persona 5 Scramble, and personally, I do believe there are other Persona games in the works coming to the Nintendo Switch. They just haven't been announced yet, but we at least have Persona 5 Scramble. And then with Hero, we have Dragon Quest XI's, and that got a really big push. And now we know about Terry, and there are Fatal Fury games available on the Nintendo Switch eShop. So there's definitely at least a correlation with third-party games available on the Switch and the actual third-party characters that are in the Fighters Pass. So I still think that eventually there will be some sort of Banjo game on the Nintendo Switch. And actually, if we really want to sort of overanalyze what Sakurai said here, let's play it back one more time.
If you want to play Banjo-Kazooie today, you can do so on Xbox.
And there it is, he said, so, if you want to play Banjo-Kazooie today, there you go, today. It's all about playing it today. Yeah, we cannot play Banjo-Kazooie today on the Nintendo platform, or at least the Switch. We have to go play it on Xbox. And also the people in the background were laughing and joking around. I do think part of this is simply Sakurai, paying respects to Microsoft and Xbox, thanking them. They should get some publicity here because they are working with Nintendo to have Banjo and Smash Bros. So there should be some good faith on both sides. But Sakurai said today. And with that comes with the inherent possibility that in the future it could happen. Does it mean it will happen? No. So don't assume it will happen. But I do think it will eventually be the case that Banjo and Kazooie will be available on the Nintendo Switch. When exactly? Hard to say. We are now getting Super Nintendo games on Nintendo's online service, and it's a lot more than we expected. They added 20 games right from the get-go, basically a year after the online service began, and it's at no additional costs. Maybe a year from now, we'll start getting N64 games, and maybe one of those N64 games could be Banjo and Kazooie, and while we're at it, maybe Banjo-Tooie, maybe other Rare games. If the relationship between Nintendo and Rare and Microsoft is so strong, it doesn't really hurt Microsoft or Rare to allow the old Rare games on N64 to be available on Nintendo's online service. So that could be one way that we eventually get to play Banjo-Kazooie and other Rare games on the Nintendo Switch. And I just want to stress that just because something hasn't been announced doesn't mean it's not in the works. For example, I do believe Super Mario Odyssey 2, or whatever it's going to be called, is in the works, and I think it'll probably be announced next year. We've been talking about Overwatch coming to the Switch for quite some time, but nothing really materialized for that, so people started to believe that it wasn't going to happen. Yet, lo and behold, Overwatch is coming, and really soon. And on top of that, with Town, everyone was assuming that Town was delayed. No, it's actually coming out right on time, this year, in just a few weeks, in October. The point being that just because something hasn't been announced or talked about doesn't mean they're not working on it behind the scenes. So I still have hope, I still have faith. If we look at the pattern, every other DLC character in the Fighter's Pass has some sort of game on the Switch. I don't think Banjo-Kazooie is going to be any different, it's just going to take some time. But we don't know that for sure, so we will have to wait and see. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's still happening? Do you think it will still come? Could it maybe be a rare replay as rumored? Or is it just going to be Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie eventually? Or maybe we eventually get it when we start to see N64 games on the Nintendo Online service in the future. I'm curious what you guys think about this, so please let me know in the comments below. But anyways, everyone, this is AndresRestart. I cover Nintendo content, so please make sure you are subscribed to see more awesome Nintendo content. Leaving a like would be appreciated, and I'll see you all later. Take care. Bye.